Hey guys, this is Casey with Broke Musicians Guide. Today I want to talk about something that I have not been able to find good videos on this. And I think it's really important because people wonder this all the time, especially like music business majors and everything. How much does it cost to put on a concert? Okay, so I have this little sheet here that I used. I made this when I was helping book bands. This is how I averaged like the cost of a show to see, hey, can we, actually make a profit off of this band? So I have a lot. There's a ton of stuff to go through. I'm trying to get it through as quickly as possible. First, all this stuff up here as far as percentages, we're going to skip past that for now. So I just want to talk about booking the band. Okay, the sheet I have just like my basic information up at the top. You put in the band name and the date and all that stuff. So now I'm going to go down to basically I'm going to start showing you what the expenses are. Now, let's say what type of band do you want to book? Okay, let's say we're going to pick something that a lot of people generally want to start with because they want to have a big name, and so let's say you want to get a classic rock band, someone who maybe isn't like still huge playing stadiums, but you have a smaller venue and you think, hey, let's get like 38 Special here or Night Ranger or something like that. So first of all, you're going to the cost of a band like that is going to be pretty high. I'm going to say let's make a generous guess on one of these, and we're going to say $20,000. Now, this is really that's not very astronomical. A lot of bands are going to charge way more than that if they've had success in the past. So the idea, okay, when you own a concert venue, the business is really more about selling beer than it is selling tickets. So the reason they have opening acts is so that people are there longer and they buy beer because they're thirsty and they have, they got to do something while they're sitting around waiting for the headliner. So if you have a pretty decent band, you're probably going to be paying them, let's say $500. If it was an act that's touring with the headliner, they're probably going to get paid like $1,000. But we're going to say there's an opening act. We're going to pay them $500. They're local. And then let's say there's a second opening band, but we're not going to pay them anything because we're going to tell them, hey, this is for your exposure, and we don't want to pay you anything, so they might do it, especially if it's a big name. Backline. Now, if you don't know what backline is such a freaking ripoff, but I'm not going to go there. A lot of these bands, they might not travel with gear, or they might have someone else who like holds all their gear, and so you have to pay for backline, which means you have to basically buy their equipment for the night, rent it. Some of those guys, they're going to charge you, like $2,000, to use backline, which is ridiculous. They might charge you way, way more than that, in all honesty. But let's just say this guy's not too bad, charges you $2,000. Okay, so then before you put on the show, you gotta. A lot of these people have in a contract. You got to pay $2,000 for the advertisement because they want to make sure that the show is going to be known. Because you could bring a really big name, and if no one knows it's happening, then they just got screwed. So let's say they make you do $2,000 worth of advertising. That is not a crazy amount. That is a pretty average amount. So let's say we're going to do $1,300 with radio. Let's say we're going to do $250 for newspapers, screw printing, and $250 for Facebook boosts. So that covers our cost there. Now, I'm going to jump down to another section here before I go into stuff that is the building's cost. Let's say the band, they want 9 hotel rooms. That might not just be the band, but that might be their crew and everything. A lot of places, here's a quick word of advice: find a hotel, talk to them, and get deals and see, because a lot of hotels, they will they'll give you a discount if you recommend them all the time, because they're still making money off the room even if it's at a low price. And if you're constantly sending them business, then they'll be more than happy. They might want travel. If you're flying them in from a really far gig, they might charge you to travel. Let's leave that off, because a lot of times small venues, you're not going to do that. You're going to just try to find a routing date, which is like a date in between, like St. Louis and Chicago or something, and they have a day in between that you can get them. if it's a show that needs like rental chairs or anything like that, you would have to put that on there. Let's just, for sake of being quick, let's say it's going to be all standing room. Water, the band, might want water. This also, so let's say, it's like $10, whatever, for a case or whatever. Let's just say, $10. You get them probably for a discount because you're a bar. Street team mileage, if you had people running out, putting up posters and stuff like that, it's 52 cents a mile. So if you're going to do that, you gotta do that. But we didn't do any print advertising, so we're just going to leave that one. And van rental, for a day, you're probably going to spend $100. So let's say, we had to have 2 vans throughout the day, $200. And for catering, let's say, wrong one. Let's say that's $2,000 for catering. Yeah, that's not crazy. That is pretty average. So now that's all the expense. I mean, we haven't sold a ticket yet, and we've already spent a ton of money. Am I right? Let's see, where are we at? Yeah, $27,000. We're already past that. So now I'm going to quickly just add up a couple other things that you need to think about. Building upkeep. Now, I throw this in as like your property tax or what it costs to run like the air conditioning, all that stuff. So let's just say for the day, let's say it's going to be $100 because you have to air condition the whole place and a lot of lighting throughout the day and all that. Management fee. I put this in as like the salary of like the manager, for the boss, people who aren't working hourly, but I would just take like their salary for the year divided by how many days in the year, and then just put it in. So I'm just going to say, let's say, per day the manager gets paid about $100. One of the like upper managers gets paid $130, so let's just say $230 for that. BMI fee, ASCAP fee, that'll depend on how many tickets we sell. So that will be a cost, but we can't figure that out quite yet. Polestar Fee. This is a website that you use to book bands. They tell you they give you contact information. They tell you the ticket sales, what they're currently selling. That helps you kind of get an average. I would use that to figure out. I would plug that in as like a scenario of like if their average tickets sold, if that's what we got, would we still make money? So I'm just gonna throw in, let's just say $5, for the day or whatever. Sound system. If you don't have your own sound system, the place I worked didn't have a sound system. So, let's say per day, you're spending, I don't know, a couple $100 a month to lease it. Let's just say $20 for the day is what you're paying the sound system. If you have to bring in additional stuff, then that's going to cost more. Ticket printing. Now, I know I got this a lot where people would tell me, just get a rough estimate. You don't need to make it real specific. But to me, I want to try to get it down to the penny. Because if you can figure out down to the penny, ticket printing, it was 5 cents a ticket. I mean, that's pretty crazy. So let's say if I had, if I printed 500 tickets, that's $37 that, that was just spent. That's like half of a person's pay for the day as far as like someone working with labor. So that is really important, even though people don't want to think about it. So right now, let's look. Oh, geez. $27,000. Man, that is a lot. That is a lot of money that we're spending. That basically, we just started putting on a gig, or we just booked a band, and we're already $20,000 in debt. I mean, that's why this business is so crazy. So the next video, I'm going to go into more of the costs. We're going to jump into the labor of your people. If you like this type of video, please subscribe. Please comment below if there's anything else you think of that we need to add to this. I know there's a ton of stuff, and the music industry has so many crazy things. So we're going to go into more of what split points and what the rental, what that would do to your cost. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe.